Thank you, sir.
See you, man.
Yeah, we don't need it, but
Yeah.
what's early?
So, Rich you on one of the things that if you don't
Eddie, what are you usually going to? Work for me.
well, so we've got a few options.
So anyhow, yeah, I've got a call from
Oh, let's put the rock. Let's
I just don't want you to have to like.
With a
Yeah, I'm in, brother. I don't know. Where's the little buzzer thing?
So my team, I'm chatting Eliana to see what she wants to do.
Looks like the game code is 242 for those of you who are logging into the buzzer.
That's correct.
All right.
And then Mike, Chris, Dennis, do you have a fourth who's joining today, or just three of you? Do you know?
It's just going to be the three of us.
Okay. And then for les Quizerables, as the French would say, you have four. Looks like, do we have five in here right now, and we're deciding on four? Or?
Do we have five in here right now?
Looks like we have Aaron, Steve, Kate, Nicole, and then
Aaron isn't Nicole, I think.
Oh.
Or is that right, Nicole?
What's that?
Oh, no, wait. I see both Nicole and Aaron on the buzzer, but I just see you on the...
Yeah, Aaron's separate. Aaron, Steve, Nicole, Kate. Is that 4?
And then it looks like Eliana is also in the.
Oh yeah, in the room, but not on the buzzer.
Hi all.
Is that okay if she does it? Watches?
Sorry.
Yeah, she can watch, preferably from the YouTube link, just to keep the sort of, if there's any like distraction on it. She can stay in here off camera, off audio, and not able to buzz in, but the YouTube link will also be another way that she can watch and play along. Well. All right. Let's do a quick, Anne, do you want to call off people quickly to do a quick buzzer check? We'll go by name, make sure everybody's good.
Sure. Aaron? Steve?
Present.
Kate? And Nicole? Awesome. Good red buzzing. Now some blue. Mike? Christopher? And Dennis.
Hey, that's all good news. We're getting to be pros at this in the later rounds. Good work, everybody. Cool. Well, let's get started up then. I mean, I think we're in pretty good shape now. You've all been through a couple matches so far. So I will abbreviate some of the rules and regulations, but in case any of you may be subbing in, or those of us that are joining in the YouTube forum, we can go over the rules quickly, and then of course I'll check to see if we have any questions. So welcome back. This is a redemption bracket match, which means 2 gladiators will enter, or I guess 8 gladiators will enter, 7. Only one of these 2 teams, though, will make its way out today. The other we will have to say goodbye to at the end of today's match. No pressure, of course. Now, today, just as always, we're going to go through 2 rounds, 6 categories of 5 questions each. That's 30 questions per round in those 6 categories. In the first round, the point values will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and increasing value. And in the second round, there'll be 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So if you fall behind in round 1, know that there's a lot of points to be gained in round 2. Halfway through, we will have a halftime break where we'll be covering Kaplan crowdsourced questions potpourri, where we'll have a handful, 5 questions. Those will be each worth 3 points, and they have been great. We're very gracious. We're grateful for the fact that those have been provided by not only people who are in this match, though we won't be using your questions today, but by tons of our Kaplanites across the company. So again, we're still accepting more submissions for those questions, and feel free to keep them coming our way. So we'll cover those at the midpoint. Some of the other just rules and the way things work here. As we go through each of the categories, if you answer a question correctly, remember you get the points. If you answered incorrectly, we take those points away. So there is a penalty for wrong answers, whether it's guessing or not. So be aware of that as we go through. A reminder that if someone on a team buzzes in and answers incorrectly, we will throw it to the other team for a chance to steal. At that point, I will allow you all to discuss, whether if you're on a phone line or if you want to come off mute and discuss here in the Zoom room. But I will only be accepting answers from the team captains. I believe that's Chris and Nicole. If you can give me a quick thumbs up just to confirm you will be my rulers of the roost today. Thank you. So I will ask you for that. I'm only going to give you about 10 seconds or so to confer before I need an answer from you. So I'll give you some time to chat, and then we'll ask for your final answer. You do not have to answer in the case of a steal. You can pass, because again, those points will either be credited or removed from your score. One of the other rules to remember is as we go through, you can only ring in twice within a given category. Okay, so we have a cap on the number of times in a category that you can buzz in for your team. After you've buzzed in twice, whether answering correctly or incorrectly for your team, one thing I always ask is just put your hands up, just as a reminder that, hey, I can't buzz in anymore. It'll also stop you from buzzing in. There is a pretty stiff penalty for buzzing in. You lose those points for your team, and it's automatically thrown to the other team for a steal. So do not let that happen. We'll keep an eye on you. Most people remember it, but again, just 2 buzzes per category. One thing to remember as well is that occasionally there'll be a question in a category that we cannot represent here in the TPT stadium. I'm using all kinds of different mixed metaphors for what we're doing today. But occasionally we'll run into one of those questions. In that case, we'll have a surprise substitution from an entirely different category. It'll be worth the same amount of points as the original question would have been worth. And it still counts towards those 2 buzzes within the 2 buzz limit per category. Okay, so just remember all of those rules as we go through. Buzzer should be all good for us as we go throughout. We will do our best to keep an eye on the scoring as we go through. One of the things to note, though, if you see something, say something. Feel free to come off of mute and let us know if there are any questions about scoring, or if there are any questions as we go through about any kind of technology, or if you get booted from the room or from the buzzer. Okay. Yeah, and for surprise substitutions, you will get to see the dancing taco. That will always indicate a surprise substitution. Good chance we'll see one of those or more today. Awesome. If you have any questions, feel free to come off mute now. Otherwise, give me a thumbs up somewhere in the screen where I can see it to let me know that you are ready to get started in today's excitement.
I just have a quick question. In terms of conferring with our team, is it cool if we just confer in here?
Yes,
Okay.
100%. We'll allow you guys to come off of mute, chat. But then again, Nicole, you will be the person that I ask for your final answer from your team, okay? It's always fun when you do that here in Zoom, because then we can hear you turn down somebody else's answer that's otherwise correct. That tends to come up a lot, but we'll see what happens. It'll be some fun today. Again, no pressure. Just one of these teams is going home. That's all I'm saying. Other thing about staying on and off mute, just make sure that you come off of mute once I call on you, so that we're sure that you've taken the time, that you actually buzzed in appropriately. And when you are not called upon, please stay on mute the rest of the time so that it's not distracting, and that we can't hear all of your secrets that are going on in the background. All right. Well, we've got categories today. I usually like to tell everybody whether I like the categories or dislike the categories before we go. I will warn you, this falls on the categories I'm not quite as excited about, but I didn't pick them. They are what they are, and we will see what happens with the categories and the types of knowledge that we will be requiring from you today. But I am excited to see how you do. Yeah, so let's get started up. Everybody give me a quick stretch. Get the nerves out. Get your buzzer fingers ready. All right. Well, we'll also get the nerves out with our very first our very first round in our very first category. Our first category in our first round today is escape. Escape. All right. I don't know what that means, but we'll find out. 1 point question for 1 point in the category of escape, hands on buzzers. In 1814, before the British burned the White House, this woman escaped with silver and other valuables. Aaron.
Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison is correct for 1 point. Just read an article yesterday, given the recent interest in the War of 1812. She got that painting of George Washington, presumably, out of the White House as well. Nice job, Dolly Madison, for 1 point. See, got our very first point of the game. 2 point question in escape. A great escape from Stalag Luft 3 in 1944 was through one of these, dubbed Harry. Steve.
Tunnel.
A tunnel is correct. Tom and Dick, the other 2 tunnels, were not used, but movie The Great Escape, loosely based off of the escape from Stalag Luft 3. Nice work for 2 points. 3 point question in escape, hands on buzzers. He escaped gladiator school in the 1st century BC and formed an army that threatened Rome. Chris. Come off of mute for me.
Spartacus.
Spartacus is correct for 3 points to tie the game up. I am Spartacus. Nice job for 3 points. Make sure to put yourself back on mute. So 3 escape questions in, 2 more to go. Question number 4 in the great category of escape. Hands on buzzers. His 1791 attempt to flee was thwarted when he was recognized from his picture on French money. His 1791, Chris.
King Louis XV.
Louis XV is incorrect. I'm going to take away 4 points. Make sure you get back on mute. I'll read the question one more time for Les Quizerables, which is a good old French question for you here. His 1791 attempt to flee was thwarted when he was recognized from his picture on French money.
Do you guys think it's Napoleon?
No, Napoleon was in the 1800s. I'm pretty sure it's the 16th, not the 15th.
I thought Napoleon was the same time as like the American.
No, it was the same time as Louisiana Purchase.
Oh, okay. So who do you think it is?
I think it's the 16th. I think Chris was close.
So you think Louis the 16th?
Yeah.
Everyone else good with that?
Works for me.
Good with me.
All right, we'll go Louis the 16th.
And you're glad you did. That's 4 points for Louis the 16th. Yeah, you're right, Louis. Nice job for the 4-point steal there. Just one Louis off for the blue team. All right, we got our 5-point question, 5 points and escape, hands on buzzers. In 1647, King Charles I eluded his parliamentarian pursuers and escaped to the Isle of This in the English Channel. In 1647, King Charles I eluded his parliamentarian pursuers and escaped to the Isle of This in the English Channel. 5 seconds. Time. One of the lesser known isles, the Isle of Wight. The Isle of Wight is the isle. All right, nothing ventured, nothing gained on the 5-point question. One category in that still really made the biggest difference in the first category. Score is Les Quizerables 7 and Brave Little Trivia -1. We'll see them get back out of the red. Well, I guess they're the blue team, but back onto the positive side as we get further into this. So escape was our first category. Our second category is run. Run. Let's see what we're doing here. Hands on buzzers for the 1-point question in run. His 9th and final successful run for the US Senate from West Virginia was in 2006. He died in 2010. His 9th and final successful run for the US Senate from West Virginia was in Steve.
I'm going to go with Byrd.
Robert Byrd is correct for 1 point. Way to know your long-term senators. Nice job for 1 point. 2-point question in run. Before his 2006 run to be governor of this state, Butch Otter represented its 1st district, which includes Coeur d'Alene. Before his Nicole.
Idaho.
Idaho is correct for 2 points. Nice job. You know where Coeur d'Alene is, if nothing else, right? 3-point question in run. Seems like this is about people running for office. I get it. 3-point question. He first ran for the Senate in the 1970s and became Utah's longest serving senator. Mike.
Orrin Hatch.
Orrin Hatch is correct for 3 points, making some news earlier this year. 4-point question in run. He was elected to the US Congress in 1968, 9 years before his first successful run for mayor of New York City. He was elected to US Congress in 1968, 9 years before his first successful run for mayor of New York City. 5 seconds. Mike.
Ed Koch.
Ed Koch is correct. Triple stumper on the show, but if you do the math there, it makes sense. Mayor in the late 1970s and 80s, Ed Koch for 4 points. Way to go, Mike. And our 5-point question, 5 points in run. Selma native Joe Bonner ran unopposed in his 2008 re-election campaign to represent this state's first Steve.
Alabama.
Selma is in Alabama, if you got nothing else. Nice job for the 5 points. 5 points for Joe Bonner and running for Congress in Alabama. All right, that's 2 categories down. As I predicted, Brave Little Trivia made its way out of the negatives and into the positives to 6. Still down 9 points to Les Quizerables. As we go into category number 3, we did escape, we did run, and now this category is flee. But flee with an A, F-L-E-A, like a flea. All right, let's get the 1-point question in flee. Fleas make up the order Siphonoptera. Siphon meaning tube used to extract this. Mike.
Blood.
Blood is what fleas extract. Siphonoptera, correct for 1 point. 2 point question in flea. Miriam Rothschild discovered that a rubbery protein called resilin stored in the hind legs gives fleas this amazing ability. Miriam, Dennis.
To jump?
Yes, their amazing ability to jump. Their jumping ability comes from resilin. Nice job for 2 points. This brave little trivia knows about fleas. I won't ask why. 3 point question, 3 points in flea, hands on buzzers. Each day, adult fleas deposit up to 50 of these, soon to turn into larvae, on your pet. Dennis.
Eggs.
Eggs is correct. Nice job for 3 points. You may want to put your hands up now. Two buzzes in with 2 more questions yet to go. 4 point question in fleas. As part of its Flea Killer Plus line, Raid sells this 6-letter apparatus for spreading bug-killing mist or spray. As part of its Flea Killer Plus line, Raid sells this 6-letter apparatus for spreading bug-killing mist or spray. 5 seconds. Time. Yeah, diffuser would be too many letters, but a fogger is what is used. I don't know that. All right, 5 point question. 5 point question in flea. Hands on buzzers. Big points. If you're raising these in your backyard, beware of the stick-tight flea attaching itself to their wattles. If you're raising these, Aaron.
Turkeys or chickens?
I would have accepted either. Turkeys or chickens is correct for 5 points. Nice job. Got a little tighter there for a minute, but with Aaron's answer, the score jumps to 20-12. Brave little trivia at 12 points. Lake Quizerables at 20. All right. Halfway through round 1, we got through escape, run, flee. Our next category is take a powder. Take a powder. Let's see these 5 questions in the category. 1 point question, hands on buzzers. Low cholesterol powder is designed to lower the levels of the bad cholesterol, known by this 3-letter abbreviation. Low cholesterol powder is designed, Mike.
LDL.
LDL is the right of the DLs, correct for 1 point. Nice job. You must have had your Kaplan annual physical lately. Nice work. 2 point question. 2 point question coming up in take a powder, hands on buzzers. The active ingredients of a dose of Standback headache powder are 32 milligrams of caffeine and 650 milligrams of this. The active ingredients of a dose of Standback headache powder are 32 milligrams of caffeine. Steve?
Go with aspirin.
Aspirin is correct for 2 points. You only had a few options there, right? But you picked the right one. Aspirin is correct for 2 points in take a powder. All right, we're going to jump to the 3 point question. Steve, make sure to go back on mute. Seidlitz powder, taken for cathartic effect, includes this element's bicarbonate. Seidlitz, Dennis.
Sodium.
Sodium bicarbonate is correct for 3 points. Might have picked those points back up for brave little trivia. It was a brave little answer. 4 point question, 4 points. Toss back 1,000 milligrams of ascorbic acid with this commercial powder whose name sounds like a dire situation. Aaron.
Emergency.
Emergency is correct. Nice work. Triple stumper on the show. Nobody was indoctrinated to the world of emergency yet. All right. 5 point question. 5 points, hands on buzzers. Sold as a powder, this protein found in cow's milk helps replace amino acids. Aaron.
Whey protein.
Whey is correct. Nice job. Also a triple stumper. You're really nailing those today. Yeah, I see that. Biceps. You got it. All those hammer curls paid off. That's 4 categories down. The score is 31 for Les Quizerables, 16 for Brave Little Trivia. All right, well, we got escape, run, flee, take a powder. Our 5th category is get out while you can. Get out while you can. Now, out is in quotation marks, which if you watched the old Jeopardy, you know that here each of the answers will contain out. Will each contain out. So if you're going to come off of mute and say something, make sure it has out in it somewhere. All right. 1 point question, 1 point, and get out while you can. Hands on buzzers. Where baseball players sit while not on the field. Dennis.
Dugout.
The dugout is correct for 1 point. We'll see how this category is working. 2 point question, 2 points. The mortar between tiles. Aaron.
Grout.
Grout is correct for 2 points. Dugout, grout. All right, 3 point question, 3 points in get out while you can. A condition in polar regions where snow makes visibility poor. A condition, Aaron.
Whiteout.
A whiteout is the right out. Nice job. I think that's 2 for you. Oh, yeah. Double high fives. There you go. 4 point question, 4 points in get out while you can. And it's our first chance to meet the dancing taco. The dancing taco. Whoop, 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 whoop. It means a surprise substitution. We had to cut this question out. And we're going to jump to a new question in a different category for this question and question alone. Remember, Aaron, you still cannot bring in because it's the same category, but it's a different category as well. A category for this question in this question only is Broadway stars. Broadway stars. Nobody seems excited about that. All right, well, that's all you. Broadway stars, hands on buzzers. So this is still a 4 point question, so for 4 points. In 1955, she became the first and so far only actress to win a Tony for playing a male role in a musical. In 1955, she became the first and so far only actress to win a Tony for playing a male role in a musical. 5 seconds. Thought this might be a stumper. Not everybody's remembering back to 1955. Quickly, Mary Martin. Mary Martin. If you could guess, it was from Peter Pan. Peter Pan. All right. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained in our taco-inspired surprise substitution. We still got one more question, though. Remember, we're back in the category of get out while you can. We're looking for answers with out in them. Hands on buzzers for 5 points. Expressing piety. Expressing, Mike.
Devout.
Devout was the correct out for the final 5 points in the category. Nice work. Still, Brave Little Trivia, Brave Little standing a little bit further back from Les Quizerables. Score with 5 categories down is 36-22. 36-22. All right. We still have 1 category left before we get to our halftime break. And after we escaped, flee, ran, all those things, our last category is Here Come the Monsters. Here come the monsters. Questions about monsters. Yes, that makes sense. 1 point question in Here Come the Monsters. Hands on buzzers. This nickname of the demonic villain in Hellraiser is also a term for someone not so sharp. Mike.
Pinhead.
Pinhead is the demonic villain in Hellraiser. Nice job for 1 point. 2 point question, hands on buzzers. Here come the monsters. In a 1998 movie, the spawn of this reimagined monster hatched in Madison Square Garden. Mike.
Godzilla.
Godzilla is the hatched monster. You know your monsters. But that means I think you're out for the rest of the category. 3 point question. 3 points in Here Come the Monsters. In The Host, something is living in the River Han and is set to wreak havoc on this capital city. In The Host, something is living in the River Han and is set to wreak havoc on this capital city. 5 seconds. Time, gave you the context clue of the River Han. That would be Seoul. Seoul is the city on the River Han. All right. 4-point question, 4-point, and here comes the monsters. Here come the monsters. In this Guillermo del Toro movie, Doug Jones played both El Fauno and the Pale Man who had eyes on his hands. Aaron.
Pan's Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth is correct. Nice job for 4 points. I figured somebody would remember Pan's Labyrinth. Nice work. 5-point question. What was that?
It's such a good movie.
It is a really good movie. 5-point question. Final question in round 1, category 6. Hands up buzzers. Big 5-point question. This term for hatred or malice is also the beast kept in a pit by Jabba the Hutt and defeated by Luke. This term for hatred or malice is also the beast kept in a pit by Jabba the Hutt and defeated by Luke. 5 seconds. Time. Maybe we might have a Star Wars person. Rancor, Rancor, Rancor was the beast. All right. Well, that's round 1. Nice job. We got through 30 questions. Score is 40-25. Still a very, very competitive game with a lot of points still in play. We're going to jump into our halftime Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri in just 1 second. But go ahead and give yourselves another quick stretch. We're at the halfway point, and I'll be right back.
Hey, Ethan, should we be worried that Brave Little Trivia knows about fleas and monsters?
Fleas and monsters, man. Those are the cool things these days.
That was a little disturbing.
I think it's a niche hobby for us.
Yeah, I told you it's some weird trivia today, but we'll maybe get a little more traditional as we get into the second round. I don't know. We'll see. Some tough questions still in play. Okay, let's get everybody back on mute. And we're going to check out some Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri. I've got 5 questions. Again, in this round, every single question is worth 3 points, but same rules. Otherwise, answer correctly, you get the points. Answering correctly, you lose them. Steals are still available, all that good stuff. And again, thank you to our submitters who are continuing to provide us questions from throughout the organization. All right, first question in Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri. Hands up buzzers. 3 points. Venus flytrap are native to coastal Carolina plain and grow in soil that is poor in this nutrient. Venus flytrap, Nicole.
Nitrogen?
Nitrogen is what the soil is poor in. Nice job for 3 points. Glad somebody got that. Next question, second question, 3 points. On Bewitched, Samantha was able to cast a spell by doing this. Chris.
Twitching her nose.
Twitching her nose. I can't do it, or else I would. I can move my ears independently, but I can't twitch my nose. All right, nice job for 3 points. Third question, Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri. Hands on buzzers. The Faroe Islands are governed by this Scandinavian country. The Faroe Islands, Mike.
Denmark?
Denmark is the correct Scandinavian country, along with Greenland and some of their other dependencies. The Faroe Islands are governed by Denmark with a good amount of autonomy out there. All right. Fourth question for 3 points. Nice job, Mike. Reduced to a trivia footnote, he was runner-up to Kelly Clarkson in the first season of American Idol. Dennis.
Justin Guarini.
Justin Guarini is correct. I think you should be very proud of yourself for knowing that answer.
It's sad.
Also part of a great movie from Justin to Kelly? Is that what it was?
I was just mad that I didn't buzz in fast enough.
Oh, yeah. Well, some good old Justin Guarini trivia always has to come up. Nice job for the 3 points. And our last question from Kaplan crowdsourced potpourri. Hands on buzzer. He was the first African American to appear on a U.S. stamp. He was the first African American to appear on a U.S. stamp. 5 seconds. Time. You had a lot of good options to choose from. If this one was racking around in your brain, Booker T. Washington was the first African-American featured on a U.S. stamp. Thanks to Bill Keevan, Rochelle Rothstein, Maria Preston, and John Fulford for today's questions. Remember that you too can submit questions to TPT. Awesome. Well, we're going to jump into round 2. Again, the point values are doubled. My patience is halved, so be good. We've got... I said we've got categories. I won't say they're good categories. We got categories for you in round 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10-point questions. Maybe the taco will return. Let's see. Our first question, our first category in round 2, comes from the field of astronomy. Astronomy. Not to be confused with astrology, but astronomy. Okay. 2-point question. Get your hands back in buzzer range. Let's go for it for 2 points. In 1996, this space telescope returned the first ever images. Steve.
The Hubble.
There are only so many space telescopes, and it was the Hubble, correct for 2 points, that returned the first ever images of Pluto's surface. Nice work for 2 points. 4-point question in the wild world of astronomy. Hands on buzzers. Each November, debris from comet Tempel-Tuttle produces a meteor shower that streams across this lion in the sky. Aaron.
Leo?
Leo is correct. So maybe a little astrology in here, right? I'm a Leo, if you're curious. That's why I like to be the host of this show. A 6-point question, 6 points in astronomy. Hands on buzzers. Oh, wait. It's time for the taco again. Surprise substitution, surprise substitution. I don't sing Bob's song, but the taco makes up for it, right? We do have another surprise substitution here. And we're going to go with Asian nations for our surprise substitution. A good old 6-point, because we're in round 2, 6-point question from the category of Asian nations. All right. Hands on buzzers for 6 points in Asian nations. The Chao Phraya, this country's main river, flows to the Gulf named for the country. The Chao Phraya, this country's main river, flows to the Gulf named for the country. 5 seconds. Time. Thailand. Thailand in the Gulf of Thailand is where it ends. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Man, these surprise stuff, the taco must just be throwing you off, getting you and all mixed up on these. I don't know. As scorekeeper Ann knows, I'm surprised I didn't go with African nations, but Asian nations, one of my second favorites for geography trivia. Okay, well, 8 points. 8 points in astronomy. Hands on buzzers. This largest moon of Neptune has active volcanoes that spew crystals of nitrogen as high as 6 miles above the surface. This largest moon of Neptune, Mike.
Triton?
Triton is the correct moon of Neptune. Nice work for 8 points. It's triple stumper on the show. One of my favorite moons, I must say, of all the moons. 10-point question. 10 points in astronomy. Lots of points to be gained here. Hands on buzzers. Pumping out energy, quasars are one type of object described as the active nuclei of these vast structures. Pumping out energy, quasars are one type of object described as the active nuclei of these vast structures. 5 seconds. Time. Galaxies are the structures of which they are the nuclei. I will tell you this, if we could do some sort of like data analysis, I think the first 10-point question in every game is the one people are the most nervous to ring in on. Probably gets the least amount of buzzes. That's just anecdotal. I'll have to get the BI team on top of that. We've got our second category. So we're out of astronomy. If you didn't like the stars, we can move into something else. Our second category is family music. Family music. See what happens. Again, oh, and the score tightened up there. Sorry, I forgot to mention. It's 49-42. 49-42 going to category 2. Let's see what happens. All right, 2 points. I will give you the year and I will give you the song title, and you name for me the band. I'll give you that additional. I'll name the year, I will name the song title, you ring in and name the band. 2 points. 1957, Wake Up Little Susie. 1957, Wake Up Little Susie. 5 seconds. Nicole.
Herman's Hermits?
Herman's Hermits is incorrect. We're going to take away 2 points from LQ. I'm going to throw it over to Chris and the other team. I'll reread the year and the title. You can all discuss. I just need the answer from Chris. Again, 1957, Wake Up Little Susie.
Pass.
Going to pass. It was Triple Stumper on the show. I think some overthinking on it. Again, it's family music. It was the Everly Brothers. The Everly Brothers did Wake Up Little Susie in 1957. All right. So 2 points out of the way. Family music, not a steal, but you know, what's it is. 4 point question in family music. Again, year and song. 2009, Keep It Real, often heard on Radio Disney. Mike.
The Jonas Brothers?
The Jonas Brothers are the correct brothers. Everybody's showing their true passion for music today. Nice work for the Jonas Brothers for 4 points. Tightens the game up to within 1 point. 6 point question in family music. Hands on buzzers. 1984, I'm So Excited. Aaron.
The Pointer Sisters.
The Pointer Sisters is correct. I thought that one would go quickly. Pointer Sisters is correct for 6 points for Les Quizerables. 8 point question in family music. Hands on buzzers. 1941, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. Aaron.
The Andrews Sisters.
The Andrews Sisters is correct for 8 points. You know your sisters better than your brothers. The Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from Company B is terrible song. 10 point question. 10 points in family music. Lots of points here. Hands on buzzers, except Aaron. 1974, Midnight Rider. Dennis.
Allman Brothers.
The Allman Brothers is correct for 10 points to bring the score back close. Again, a triple stumper on the show. A lot of those coming up today, but they haven't been a match for you all. Nice work. End of 2 categories. It looks in round 2. It looks like the score is 61-56. So definitely anybody's game. Still a lot of points still to be had. And Dennis, if you can go back on mute for us too. Thank you. All right, we still got 4 categories to go. We'll see what happens. Our third category in round 2 is a literature category. So we haven't really seen much literature yet. It's been all about American Idol and monsters and fleas. Our category is What's the Story? I'm going to give you a short description of a book, and you tell me what the book is. All right, I'll give you a synopsis, and you tell me what the book is. All right? What's the story? 2 point question. 2 points. Hands on buzzers. Hercule makes a bust on a choo-choo out of Istanbul. Hercule makes a bust. Nicole.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Murder on the Orient Express is correct. A choo-choo out of Istanbul. It's hard to say. Nice job, though. If you saw the recent movie, it was all right. It wasn't as good as the original. 4 point question. 4 points in What's the Story? Hands on buzzers. Until the very end, Roxanne knows not that her swordsman poet cousin loves her. Until the very end, Roxanne knows not that her swordsman poet cousin loves her. 5 seconds. Aaron.
Is that Cyrano de Bergerac?
It is Cyrano de Bergerac. You should feel very proud of that one. It was triple stumper on the show as well. I had to read it in 10th grade, so I like that. Roxanne knows not. It's a no. 6 point question. 6 points. Nice job in Cyrano. Hannah reads to a burned man. Catherine dies in a desert cave. Steve.
The English Patient?
That is The English Patient. Way to jump on that one quickly for 6 points. Catherine dies in a desert cave. It's a very sad book. It's all really just tragic. So I guess we spoiled some stuff if you haven't read it or watched the movie. 8-point question. 8 points in What's the Story? Hands on buzzers. Gustav von Aschenbach succumbs to cholera among the gondolas. Gustav von Aschenbach succumbs to cholera. Kate.
Love in the Time of Cholera?
That is incorrect.
Oh, no.
I will take away 8 points from your team, and I'm going to pass it over to Chris and the blue team. I'll read it for you one more time because it's really fun to say these words. Gustav von Aschenbach succumbs to cholera among the gondolas.
We're going to pass.
Going to pass. Somebody.
Pass.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was Chris. Then you're going to pass. Somebody did ring in and also say "Love in the Time of Cholera." Death in Venice. Death in Venice was the book that we were looking for. All right. Well, 10 points. Big 10-point question. These are makers or breakers. 10 points in What's the Story? Hands on buzzers. Mac and the boys share a fish meal storage shed in Monterey and throw a party for Doc. Aaron.
Cannery Row.
Cannery Row is correct for 10 points. Big point one. It's like my 4th favorite of his books. I really like The Winter of Our Discontent. All right. That's 3 categories down, 3 categories to go, halfway through round 2. A back and forth, but Les Quizerables getting out a bit ahead in our literature category. Score 75 to 56. Category 4 is Eastern Standard Rhyme Time. Eastern Standard Rhyme Time. All of the answers that I'll be looking for will be rhyming. I'll give you that much. Eastern Standard Rhyme Time. All right, hands on buzzers. Let's see what this is all about with the 2-point question. Delaware's capital's shamrocks. Mike.
Dover's Clovers.
Dover's Clovers is correct. Dover is in the Eastern Standard Time and Clovers are shamrock. Dover's Clovers is correct for 2 points. 4-point question in Eastern Standard Rhyme Time. Tired and sleep deprived, Great Lake City in Pennsylvania. Steve.
Weary Erie?
Weary Erie is the sleep-deprived city in Pennsylvania. Weary Erie is correct for 4 points. I like this category. This one's good. 6-point question. 6-point question. Taking a quick peek at the capital of the Wolverine state. Taking a peek. Aaron.
Lansing.
Glancing at Lansing. I think it's like an ad, but Glancing Lansing is correct for 6 points. Nice job. It's my home state. 8-point question. 8 points in Eastern Standard Rhyme Time. Hands on buzzers. People in a New York City borough who study policy details endlessly. People in a New York City borough. Steve.
Bronx Walks.
Bronx Wonks is correct for 8 points. Nice job, Steve. You got your 2 out of this category. There are only 5 different boroughs you could work from. It's not going to be like the Staten Island smiling. I don't know. All right, 10-point question, 10 points, big point question, Eastern Standard Rhyme Time. Everybody be ready for it, except Steve. Hands on buzzers. The area around South Beach when it's cold and sticky. The area around South Beach, Mike.
Clammy Miami?
Clammy Miami is correct for 10 points. You guys are falling behind, but that is a big point gain for the final question in, I wish all of them were just rhyme time. We could just keep going for like 30 questions, but we get scores 93 to 68, 93 to 68, 25 points separating and still 2 categories to go. Again, still anybody's game. Let's see what we got for our last 2 categories. Our second to last category today is art styles. Art styles. Yeah, I see some frustration. We'll see what you do. 2-point question coming up in art styles. Hands on buzzers. The years 1490 to 1520 saw this high period in Rome, Florence, and Venice. Aaron.
The Renaissance?
The High Renaissance was 1490 to 1520, correct for 2 points. You know your first of 5 art styles. 4-point question, 4 points in art styles, hands on buzzers. Warhol and Liechtenstein. Dennis.
Pop culture.
That is incorrect. We will take away 4 points on it, and I'll throw it over to the team. Let me read the full clue to you all, and then Nicole will give you a chance to answer, and you can all discuss. Warhol and Liechtenstein were figures in this 2-word style that's 1 letter off from a Kellogg's treat.
It's pop art, you guys. Pop art.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, we will go pop art.
Pop art is correct. Sounds like Pop-Tart. Nice job for the steal for 4 points. All right, 6-point question in art styles. 6-point question. This double talk art style arose in part from the despair following World War I. Aaron.
What is Dada?
Dada is the double talk art style. Nice job for the 6 points. Hands up. 8-point question. 8-point question in art styles. Hands on buzzers. This art style that includes an artist's name was a brotherhood in mid-19th century London. This art style that includes an artist's name was a brotherhood in mid-19th century London. 5 seconds. Time. I figure this might be a stumper. It's the Pre-Raphaelites. The Pre-Raphaelites. Oh, God. It's also, I think, a daily double, so that would have been a bad one to wager on. All right, we got the 10-point question, or penultimate 10-point question. Lots to be gained here. Hands on buzzers, art styles. Many works commissioned by Louis XIV for Versailles are typical of this imperfect pearl style. Many works commissioned by Louis XIV for Versailles are typical of this imperfect pearl style. Imperfect pearl in quotation. 5 seconds. Time. Baroque. I'm sure you might have thought of Baroque, but the imperfect pearl through. Anyway, Baroque is the correct answer for our final question in art styles. All right, we are in our final category, and the score is 105 to 64. It's a 41-point difference. It's going to be tough. Maybe there's some strategy going on, but we've got 5 questions in our last category, which is outgrowths. So if you remember in our first round, we had words that contain the word out. Okay. In this category, each correct response can follow the word out. So like field, right, would be a correct answer because that's commonly seen after the word outfield. So field would be an answer. And we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. 5 questions here in outgrowths. 2 points coming up. 2 points. A fracture or a pause in your work. A fracture. Dennis.
Break.
Break is correct for 2 points. Get out. Break. Break is what we're looking for, and break is the correct answer for 2 points. 4-point question in outgrowths. Hands on buzzers. The actors in a play. The actors in a play. Aaron.
Cast.
Cast is correct. Also follows the word out. Nice work for 4 points with outcast. 6-point question. Tied up or leap. Tied up or leap. 5 seconds. Dennis.
Bound.
Bound is what we were looking for 6 points. Bound can both mean tied up or to leap. Nice work. No more Dennis, I think. 8 points. 8 points in outgrowths. Hands on buzzers. The dorsal area, mate. The dorsal area, mate. Nicole.
Back.
Back is correct, right? The mate. I was hoping somebody would pick it up. And our final question in Outgrowths. Hands on buzzers. Everybody's in it. Canon and criminal are types of this. Canon and criminal are types of this. 5 seconds. Time, canon law and criminal law, outlaw, right? Law is that question was brought to you by Kaplan Bar Review. Please sign up online today. Nice game, back and forth, very close at times, but Brave Little Trivia could not surpass the trivia prowess of Les Quizerables. Too many questions about Louis and too many questions about France, maybe. You had the right name for it this matchup. Final score 117-72. Great game, everybody. Join us for our next match as well at 1 p.m. And thanks all for